Hello, I'm terribly sorry, but that is the wrong film. That is indeed the film the director and cinematographer intended to produce. However, they ran out of money filming those opening shots and had to make the following instead. We are so sorry for any inconvenience and hope it does not spoil your enjoyment of the film.
Hello, I'm Ebbs and welcome to the 17 greatest dates of Matthew Redding. A rundown of the highs and the lows of his internet dating exploits.
Hi, I'm Nicola, and throughout the show we'll be reuniting Matthew with some of the girls he's dated and reenacting some of the events which brought them together.
And interviewing them
to find out what they really thought of him. I'm so sorry. Are you alright?
He did piss me right off. I just knew that we weren't going to go on a second date.
Didn't really like Matthew because I thought he was a bit boring.
I genuinely did forget her name.
No, you're all right.
I'm like a ninja.
Bring it on, Matthew. Bring it on.
So why have we chosen Matthew Redding, and who is he?
We have picked Matthew because someone has proven that he is Britain's biggest sod.
Or serial online dater, to give him his full title.
We should probably show you some cutaway shots of him here.
But frankly, you'll be seeing loads of that sod later. The opening bit really should be about the presenters. Like me!
However, the show is not just about me and Nicola and the girls and Matthew and me, but also let some other people have their say, as well as see more of me.
What a prick.
We'll get in-depth insight from our resident dating expert who will analyse Matthew's actions and assess where he might have gone wrong.
It is imperative, internet daters, to remember what has been dubbed the sardine equation.
There will also be a few people who feature without any editorial justification at all.
But we have crowbarred them in regardless. Oh, that echoes! Regardless.
I went on an internet date once. It was in the dial-up days though, so the first thing she said when she met me was beep.
So why make a show about internet dating? Ooh. Is it even that big a deal?
Absolutely. Statistics show that 11 out of 10 people who have internet dated have been unsuccessful, and 78% of those failed to score.
So by examining Matthew's stories, we'll be investigating why the world of internet dating is so hard to crack.
So for this special one-off, where better than to host it from than the house where Matthew lived during his most productive dating period. I don't know what to do with my spoon.
Matthew doesn't actually live here anymore.
Runner! Door!
But this house is better to film in than the flat he lives in now.
So sit back and enjoy as we bring you 17 greatest dates of Matthew Redding.
Although due to a last-minute cock-up with the script, we're actually starting with number 16.
There is only one place where this countdown can start, and that's Abby. It started going wrong before we'd even met.
He was late by over half an hour.
I sent her a text to let her know that I wouldn't be there on time.
I replied, saying I was already there, so I may as well wait.
I even considered cancelling at that point. In hindsight, that might have been the best thing to do.
When he eventually showed up, the bar we were supposed to go to was so rammed we had to go elsewhere, which just added to the inconvenience.
Keen to make up for a shambolic start, I offered to buy her a drink. She asked for a bottle of water.
Oh, he made a poor joke. Can't you drink because it's a school night? Which I thought was in bad taste, because I can't drink for medical reasons.
Don't you hate it when someone comes to the pub and they're not drinking? It's like going to the supermarket, but you're just like having a look around. Like, oh, I like the way they've arranged the kumquats. What is a kumquat?
Oh, I play competitive Scrabble now. It's far more fun than drinking.
So she sipped her water and told me all about herself. I finished my pint and, keen to make further amends for the sluggish start, I offered to buy her more drinks.
I didn't see the point of having another drink, so I just told him I should be going home.
So we left the bar, and as we walked out into the street, she says, I know this can sound really lame, but...
I've got a lot of washing up to do.
Oh, Abby, if only you had one of these. Who knows what may have happened?
Yep, as one of Matthew's landlords once said, a dishwasher is not a luxury, it's a necessity.
Indeed it is, Nicola.
So sadly our first girl truly washed her hands clean of Matthew, but who's at number 15 in the chart and will they get off to a better start? That rhymes!
Oh my God, you're a poet.
I know! I know it! Yes!
People have asked me why I decided to internet date, and the answer is simple. I think it's just a really good way of meeting new people. There's no underlying motivation in thinking that I'm going to find the one. I've just entered into it with an open mind, you know, excited about what might happen, yet not expecting anything long-lasting from it. If there was any great connection, then that would be a bonus. I was even optimistic that there might have been sparks flying as early as my date with Natalie, the second girl I met online. In a flirtatious email she sent me, she told me the story about her like going skinny dipping, right, in Southeast Asia. And so, of course, you know, I was intrigued. However, that mischievous, enticing image took somewhat of a blow when I found out that she ate hot cross buns for a living.
I find that quite demeaning that that's what he associates with me, but I do quality check lots of other baked products like Danish pastries and croissants. Not just hot cross buns. Not that he'd know that, because the bar he took me to was so loud. There was a band sound checking in the corner and you couldn't really hear each other unless you spoke like this, which isn't that attractive on a first date, is it?
We promptly changed venue, and after a couple more drinks, she suggested that we go for food.
The question of whether or not you should go for a meal on a first date is a compelling one. It permeates a high risk factor, but that can be balanced by a potentially high reward factor.
I love having breakfast for dinner, so we went for a fry-up. I had a full English and he had egg on toast.
To reap that reward, a duo of criteria need to be in place. 1, a comprehensively researched choice of venue. 2, a defined notion of how the meal will be paid for.
So this is the only place I know that you actually get mashed potato with your bacon.
Oh, right. Oh, do you know what, I didn't want to say, like, the old cliche about, do you come here often? But you obviously do.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
If this criteria duet is not met, the chances of the date imploding rises 7-fold.
We're going to split the bill then, yeah?
Go on, be generous, Matthew. If you pay, you might get a second date.
It's taking you for a ride here, mate. 15 bloody quid. If she's expecting you to pay that now, just imagine what you have to pay the next one.
It seems like the fairest thing to do.
His first dates go, it actually went quite well, but he started squabbling over the bill and who was going to pay, and created a really awkward atmosphere.
So, you had, what did you have? A super duper breakfast, was it?
That was the moment he lost me, and at that point I just knew that we weren't going to go on a second date. If you're going to be really petty about it, I'll just pay for it. I mean, I'm a modern woman.
Well...
You can keep the change.
So now we know if a girl asks if you're going to split the bill, she's really asking, how much do you want to see me again? What would you have done, Ebbs?
I think I'd have done what Matthew did.
Oh.
Men should not feel obliged to pay.
So if you were to take me out for dinner, you're not going to pay for the bill?
No.
Oh. It wasn't
just the etiquette surrounding payment, which Matthew had to master before his dates could run smoothly, though. As you'll see in these next clips, there are many more areas where if you falter, your dates could go calamitously, catastrophically, disastrously wrong.
I met Alana when I was still new to the internet dating scene, and our date proved to be a very steep learning curve.
For today's date, Matthew has come to a pub. He has arrived early and must now wait. As ever, Alana's aide, Nick, will be keeping a beady eye on proceedings.
It's really important to try not to be anxious. So I just play with my phone because it looks cool, and I am anxious, but I don't want her to know that, so.
Matthew?
Hi.
I'm going to the bar.
So, was the journey all right getting here, was it?
Fine.
Yeah? Didn't have to travel too far? No? That's not water, is it, I hope?
Gin and tonic.
Oh, is it? Oh, good. We can get some good conversation going on. Is it all right if I go to the toilet?
You don't need to ask that.
I've just been to the toilet. I didn't really need to go, but it's just a little trick that I use on dates. Because if there's any awkward silences, right, you just make an excuse, go to the loo, and it buys you valuable thinking time in what you're going to say next. Listen to this. This one's really, really good. So, the weather's been really nice.
Another date draws to a close, and tonight, Matthew will have to face Alana in the boardroom.
Alana, we'll see you now.
So, how do you think you did?
Good, I think.
Well, let me tell you now, you didn't. If that was good, then I'm a 60-something businessman with a grey beard. It was bad. Very bad.
I'm sorry.
A bit late for sorry now, isn't it? Do you think it's appropriate not to buy your date a drink when she arrives?
No, but you were so quick to say that I'm going to the bar, it just caught me off guard.
All I seem to be hearing are excuses. I don't want excuses. I want initiative, ideas, flirting.
What do you have to say for yourself?
I realised that you haven't seen the best of me yet, but I've got a lot of enthusiasm and I may lack experience, but I'm really determined to make this work. I won't let you down, I swear.
I've heard enough. So, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like you to step outside the room for a few moments while I have a chat with Nick, and we'll call you back in shortly.
Okay.
You can go back in now.
So, all things considered, and after the complete and utter abject failure of this task, I have 3 words to say to you. Matthew, you're fired.
Bye then.
Where's my lift? Oh, you gotta be joking me.
I've learnt a lot from this process, like always offer to buy your date a drink when she arrives, don't make polite conversation about the weather, and don't date highly strung businesswomen. I'll take this all forward with me and hope that subsequent dates go a little bit better in the future. Are you taking me home now?
No, mate. You've got to get a bus.
Well, Ebbs, it seems like Matthew is slowly starting to take things on board, isn't he?
Yeah, and here's hoping he puts all that into practice on the next date, which will be the first of our reunions, where we bring back one of Matthew's dates and meet them again.
Oh, it's so exciting. I wonder what's going to happen.
But you know how it goes. We saw the VT earlier.
Ah, yes. Yes, we did, yeah.
Oi! What do you think you're doing? Yes, you! What are you doing?
Well, I'm putting the milk in the mug.
No! How many times you put the water in first and then the milk? And what's this? This is not the tea I asked for!
Sorry about that, viewers. Let's get on with the show. Here's Dawn.
Well, you know we went bowling on our date?
Yeah.
Well, I thought we could recreate that by playing skills.
Okay.
I'll let you go first.
Thanks. Shall we talk about our date then?
Yeah, okay.
You made a good first impression. Well, dressed well. I was impressed that you took me bowling on our first date. It's nice to do something other than go to a bar. I had fun. What let you down was your competitiveness. It's not as if I wanted you to let me win, but you could have let it be a bit closer.
Ooh, unlucky, a little bit more to the left.
It was quite funny when you got a strike though, and turned to me and said, "In your face."
Yes!
I knew it was just banter, but the people in next alley gave you a look as if to say, "What an arse."
Oh, unlucky. You just crossed the line, so I'm afraid there's a penalty point.
But
rules are the rules.
Overall, it was a decent date, and I would have definitely met up with you again if you hadn't been concentrating on the game and had paid more attention to me.
Just to let you know, you have to get at least 3 to win. Yes, I win!
Well, he certainly messed that one up, didn't he, Ebbs?
No.
Well, even if you're doing something nice on a date, like taking someone bowling, you can completely ruin it by acting, well, like an arse.
Yeah, but you can't get beaten by a girl, though, Nick.
Oh, rubbish, why not?
Because it just doesn't create a very good impression, a very manly impression. It's just not attractive to let someone get the better of you or mess you around.
No, dates shouldn't be about competition and trying to assert yourself. I think, quite frankly, that sort of one-upmanship is utterly rude.
Bowling with Dawn had made me realise that a date can backfire if it becomes more about the activity rather than actually getting to know one another. So with Lindsay, I decided to go back to basics and simply took her for a drink.
When he suggested the South Bank, I thought, oh, that's a nice place to go, loads of nice bars around there.
The choice of location for a first date has a ranking of 4 on the scale of initial impression meter, or SOIIM for short. It is only slightly less significant than how you look, the way you speak, and the first thing you say.
We went to this little backstreet pub.
Choose a good venue and you'll receive high marks in appraisal phase 1, When your date begins to formulate fledgling opinions about you, but choose a bad location, and it may jeopardise your chances of the date lasting even more than an hour.
We walked in and it was dead. I've seen cemeteries with more life in them. I returned from a trip to Paris earlier that day, but the poor choice of venue just made me wish I was still there.
Lindsay and I didn't keep in touch, but quite bizarrely, a second date might have been on the cards, because a year later, I started emailing another girl called Lindsay, and I started becoming paranoid about if it was the same girl. I mean, they looked very similar, and they came from the same place, and there was just this whole sense of déjà vu about the whole thing. We arranged a date, and I started to panic. I mean, what if it was the same girl?
We're not too much alike, are we?
I find it pretty insulting that you thought we were the same person.
I mean, just because two people have the same name, same hair...
Same colour eyes, same dresses.
Same figure, same accent.
And live in the same place.
But they're the same person.
Same person paranoia syndrome is widespread amongst those who internet date. It adheres to the theory of profile magnetism refreshment, where if you regularly rotate your photos, a potential date who may have ignored your initial photographic foray may be concurrently stimulated by your profile post-refreshment and look upon you forthwith in an infinitely more favourable manner.
This is my profile picture.
And this was mine.
Oh, that's a lovely photo. You look really nice.
Thanks, so do you. Where was yours taken?
In Paris.
Oh, I've been there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Due to the fact Matthew was attracted to Lindsay when his virgin eyes first met with her profile, he was always likely to visit the profiles of girls who looked similar. And when other similarities subsequently arise, one can start forthwith to logically justify that two people could actually be the same person.
So what did you talk about on your date?
Doing war studies at university.
Oh, how funny, I did peace studies. Did he ask you what your favourite war was?
He did, Korean.
Which side were you on?
War is actually the sixth worst thing you can talk about on a date after venereal disease, ex-partners, handbags, tax returns, and the futility of existence.
Oh, I love your perfume. Is that...
Enigma by Ladyboy.
Oh, I thought so. My dad wears that one.
Oh, what a coincidence. Oh, I love your bracelet. Where's that from?
Oh, it was my mum's, but I've never met her. My dad ran off with me when I was born.
Oh, really? That's so sad. I've never met my dad. I was raised by my mum. Hang on a minute.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Oh, I love your nail varnish.
Wow, so he dated twins. I've got a newfound respect for Matthew now. I mean, get in there.
You've completely missed the point.
Really?
They're not twins.
No?
No!
Oh, I'm so confused right now.
Do you know what? Actually, no, so am I. Sorry, can someone explain this to us? Because we really don't get what's going on.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
We don't know.
Matthew dated one girl, then became concerned that another girl was the same person because they had the same name and they looked alike. But it wasn't the same person, they weren't twins, or in any way related. It was just a coincidence.
Oh.
I see.
We still don't know.
Don't give a shit.
Well, now that's been cleared up, we need to move on with the show. But Lord knows what number we're on. Do you know what number we're on?
I don't know.
Meeting Holly was like watching the first episode of Downton Abbey, where you're introduced to so many characters that by the end of it, you just don't know who's who.
The cluster bomb effect is a device girls recurrently use on first dates, where they will inundate you with a plethora of sporadic information about their lives. Some of it which is less than interesting. If you remember these, what I like to call anecdote ammunitions, or an-ans, it will show you've paid attention and be guaranteed to win you a second date.
Hello there, my name's Holly and welcome to Who Wants to Go on a Second Date? Today I'm hosting the show from the good ship in Kilburn, and as always we'll be quizzing our contestant to see how carefully they were listening to me on our first date. If they answer all the questions correctly, then they'll get to see me again and go on a second date. So, without further ado, let's play Who Wants to Go on a Second Date? Our contestant today is a lovely lad from Surrey who took me for a few drinks in Covent Garden a while back. I do think I might have had to pay for one of the rounds, but we'll let him off for that. It's you, Matthew Redding. Come on down, up here. Take a seat, take a seat. Hello, Matthew. How are you feeling?
A little bit
Don't
nervous.
worry, just relax, you'll be fine.
Okay, I'll try my best.
Brilliant! Let's play the game! Question 1. During our date, I let you read an email conversation between me and my family. What was it about?
Which 3 birds your mum was going to cook for your Christmas dinner?
Correct! Good start, Matthew. Question 2. I told you about a date I'd been on where I'd been taken for coffee. What was the reason I gave you for it not being successful?
Your date made you pay for your own coffee.
Indeed he did, cheapskate. Question 3. What nickname had my housemates and I christened you with when we were talking about you before we met for our date?
Matty?
Correct again! Well, Matthew, the final question is the hardest one of all. Are you ready for it?
I think so.
Remember, if you get this question right, you and I can go on another date. But get it wrong, and I'm afraid it'll be over between us. Question 5. Now, we've mentioned some of them already, but throughout our date, I told you about 21 different people. You have 20 seconds to name them all!
Your mum, your dad, your 2 brothers, your 2 English flatmates, the 2 Australian flatmates, your flatmate's boyfriend who occasionally makes you breakfast, the other 2 Australians who lived there before you moved in, your boss, the guy who took you for coffee, the guy who took you to Blackpool on a date, your best mate Ben, the 4 mates from Manchester Uni, and the ex-boyfriend who's just split up from one of those friends from uni.
That was quite an answer. How do you think you did?
I don't know, I think I got them all though.
Well, you didn't, no. No, you actually forgot my friend's newborn baby. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Matthew, we won't be seeing each other again. But have you enjoyed today?
I've had a really
Oh,
super
good, I'm
day.
glad.
Thank you.
So, join us next week where I'll be interrogating another man I've dated on Who Wants to Go on a Second Date? Thank you. Who wants to go on a second date? Thank you. Who wants to go on a second date? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Who wants to go on a second date? I said, who wants to? Thank you so much. Who wants to go on a second date? Yeah, guys, thanks. Thanks. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'll be going then, yeah?
Yeah, I see. Yeah. Woo.
Wow, that was quite something, wasn't it?
It really was. I'm all on edge. The tension.
Do you know what I noticed? You sitting in the crowd there, possibly looking for another pretty TV Cobras and
No, but as a successful presenter like I am, I just needed to go and support some up-and-coming talent.
Yeah, I see. So do you think she's going to be better than... Do you think she'll be better than...
What the hell was that?
It wasn't me.
Do you know, I heard they're going to get rid of that runner before the next link.
Good.
So we've always wondered, Bernie, haven't we, why Matthew's dates never seem to go that well?
Yeah, I mean, it got to the point that we were so bored of listening to all his stories that we decided to hire a secret agent to go and spy on one of the dates.
No one's going to be able to tell who I am, are they? Are you sure we're not being watched? Okay. Well, I'm Bob, and I'm a secret agent. I was hired to spy on Matthew on a date with a girl called Leanne.
Hello, I'm Yelena. I am with Russian Secret Service. I do go on date tracking Agent Bob as we suspect he's involved in a mission to sabotage Russia intelligence operations.
My name is Clint Temple. I'm with the agency. I was working on a tip that Elena was working to infiltrate the American embassy. That wasn't going to happen on my watch. That's why I, too, was on a date with Matthew and Leanne.
He'd arranged a rendezvous with Leanne at the 4th plinth in Trafalgar Square. Matthew seemed rather nervous as he waited. He kept folding his arms, then unfolding them, putting his hands in his pockets, then taking them out again. What a prick.
Who was this Matthew? And why was Agent Bob taking pictures of him? Perhaps he was involved in a secret mission against Russia too.
What was Elena doing in Trafalgar Square? Was Matthew an accomplice trying to infiltrate the embassy? Either way, I had to move in real stealthy. I'm like a ninja.
Eventually, a girl came striding towards Matthew. I was certain it was Leanne. Our intel had given us all her physical attributes, and she fit the bill perfectly. She also looked like her profile picture.
Pretty girl.
Yeah, I wish she was the one trying to infiltrate the embassy. I want to infiltrate her embassy. Are you kidding? Look at this guy.
As she approached, I could tell that Matthew was battling with a dilemma. Should he hug her, kiss her, or do nothing for fear of seeming too forward? Either way, he made a complete hash of it.
Silly Englishman, he throws his arms around her and goes in for a kiss.
And like a shy English broad, she turns her head, expecting a hug. But old Matthew, he's going in full bore for the kiss. Ends up with his lips in her ears.
It was this moment that I knew Matthew was no threat to my country.
This guy's definitely no ladies' man.
They then went to a bar, so naturally I followed them.
Agent Bob, he's clever. He tried to give me the slip. But if he thought he could lose a Russian spy that easy, he was very wrong.
Yeah, so we had a tip that Elena was working from a safe house in Piccadilly. I thought she was going to lead me straight to it.
I thought it was a jolly decent bar.
Damn English agents, they always do the same thing. Take me to the bar where surveillance is almost impossible.
I was focused in on Elena, my target. And I could tell she was very adept at masking her movements, using everything at her disposal. She wasn't fooling me. I'm the master.
I watched Leanne and Matthew intently for any kind of spark, but nothing was registering on my radar.
She was a shy lady, and also I think a bored lady.
Yeah, they had a couple of drinks, but I was more interested in Elena's movements. She looked a little heavily minded, you know? Like she was about to crack.
The strong English ale goes straight through me, and I couldn't hold off any longer. I feared I would lose Agent Bob, but I had no choice.
She was slick. She went to the one place I was not allowed to go.
I had sensed that someone else had been watching us. Fearing my cover was blown, I had to act fast. I texted Leanne. Do not be alarmed. This is a friend. You must leave the pub immediately. Do it now. This seemed to do the trick, as Matthew and Leanne departed soon after. I thought this would split them up, but then they went to a boutique in Covent Garden. Matthew was crafty. He'd been given the slip by plenty of girls in the past, and he wasn't going to let Leanne go so easily. A short time had elapsed. They came out of the boutique, and there she was, holding a carrier bag. They parted company, and Matthew went strolling down the street. But I followed Leanne into Leicester Square. After a few minutes, she received a phone call. I recorded this call, and this was the conversation.
I made an excuse in the end, but I had to go and get a friend's birthday present, and he was like, oh yeah, you know what, I know this shop that sells these really cool things, and I ended up with a bloody cheese grater. A woman on top with demented eyes that stared at me. What on earth am I going to do with that?
This is a great little grater here, Ebbs. Here, why don't you have a go?
Oh, yes, I
See, it's very good, isn't it?
Oh, yes, Nicola, it's so easy to use.
And they're on special offer at the moment, so if you want one...
And quite frankly, who wouldn't want one?
Then get your orders in now. They are selling out fast.
Oh, would you look at the state of my hand?
You clearly got carried away with the grating there, haven't you, Ed?
Yes, clearly I did. Where's the runner to clean them for me?
Oh, I think we might have fired him, so you might have to clean them yourself.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
We we can't get him back, so just,
The first thing I thought when I met Eve was,
It's not Eve anymore, it's Spatula. I told you. Bought the Depot papers to prove it. Spatula.
Oh man, Spatula the psycho.
Yeah, rather him than me.
the first thing I thought when I met
Spatula.
was, that is one hell of a jumper.
Isn't it nice? It's my favourite.
It probably isn't great to have a knitwear-related first impression, but I just couldn't take my eyes off that thing.
Shall I put it on?
No, it's all right.
I'll put it on.
It was like this peachy, weird diamond pattern all over with just colours that just didn't really go at all. Like a yellow and a green and a dark purple and a light purple. Oh, it was just awful. It was just disgusting.
We hit it off instantly. He couldn't take his eyes off me.
And it didn't even fit her properly. It was like too short on the sleeves, it was really tight around the chest, and it had this like really weird smell as if it had been hanging up in the attic and like she hadn't worn it for years. It gave me a static shock when she brushed up against me. I nearly fell off my stool.
Does my hair look all right? Because after I put the jumper on, sometimes it goes a bit funny.
In 1994, there was an engrossing study conducted by Professor Evgeny Litmanov, where he assessed the reactions of 100 couples when they saw each other for the first time degarmented. He discovered that 86 of the women and 73 of the men displayed an involuntary flinching reaction when their partner denuded in front of them. Although Matthew deduced what he experienced was a shock from the static on Eve's jumper, it may have actually been a significant sign of arousal.
Oh, the banter on the date was amazing. I told him all about my trip to Africa, which was amazing, and all the kids that we helped out, and all these elephants that were walking around. And there was this one elephant in particular called Patricia, who used to walk past the classroom every day, and I did an impression of her, which was basically like this.
Oh.
Matthew was so engrossed, he was speechless. I felt like it was time to take it to the next level, so I started stroking his thigh. Come here, I'll show you how I did that.
No, you're all right.
No, you're all right.
What could I do? I didn't want her to be doing that. But you can't exactly say, oh, do you mind awfully taking your hand off my leg now, can you?
He hasn't returned any of my calls. Don't know why. I'm a nice person, fit, fashionable, and a successful businesswoman now. I'm making bespoke T-shirts. They're inspired by my Africa trip. I'll show you. Well, this is Patricia that I was telling you about. Do you want one?
No, thank you.
Yeah? Well, what about your viewers?
We said no.
Batula's T-shirts.
No advertising.
.condoms.
You mean .com?
Well, she was a bit intense, wasn't she?
Oh, don't be mean. I think it's sad that she might have liked him a little bit more than he liked her.
Well, I think he's better off without her.
Don't say that. No, I bet she was nice. She was just a bit nervous because it was her first date and she probably wasn't behaving the same that she normally would.
Well, fair enough, but which sane person changes their name to Spatula and wears that jumper?
Oh, no, tell me, it stinks.
Well, you know, whether she was psycho, whether she was nervous, we'll never see her again. It's time to move on with the countdown. Ah, there you are. Where have you been?
Don't huff. Don't huff.
Don't huff me. This isn't the kind of service I expect. What's this?
Can you get this jumper off me, please?
It's just ridiculous.
It stinks.
It's useless.
Get this jumper off me, please. Runner! Get it off! Sorry. Thank God I didn't overreact.
Something I've always found disconcerting about internet dating is the way that you have to big yourself up to people when you meet them for the first time. It's like a real intense job interview where your date's scrutinising everything about you just to assess your suitability. In my date with Kelly, this led to what might have been perceived as a battle for one-upmanship.
Go on. Tell me what he said about me. Where's he put me in his chart?
After a couple of drinks, we started talking about our various athletic achievements.
I do military training twice a week at 7 in the morning, advanced class.
I've run the London Marathon twice.
I ice skated for 10 years. I won many competitions.
I was the key player in the winning team of a 7-a-side football tournament when I was 9.
I muck out the stables on my parents' farm, and I'm telling you, that is better than any gym session.
As the banter ensued, we joked that we should invent a game that would really test our athletic prowess.
It wasn't a joke. I was serious when I came up with multi-sex stool ball.
It just sounded so silly.
It's a cross between basketball, volleyball, netball, handball, furniture design, and catch.
I just didn't get it.
It's very simple. There's 6 players in each team. One of the players in the team is the catcher and sits on the stool at the end of the pitch, which is called the home base. All of the other players must then get the ball to the catcher by either throwing or volleying the ball. Each time the catcher gets the ball, that team gets points. 1 point if it's from a throw, and 3 points if it's from a volley. What could be easier than that?
Of course we never played it. It was just alcohol-infused nonsense.
Have you told him that we're going to play for real?
Hello, and welcome to the highlights of the first ever game of multi-sex stool ball. For this special match, Kelly picked a team of Beth, Sasha, Anne, Julie, and that sexy one clapping on the end. Matthew had to quickly assemble his team with people who the film crew could get in touch with at short notice. So there's the production runner, the comedian, the sound lady, an extra from the quiz show bit, and me, Matthew's mate. Although why I had to play and do the commentary as well baffles me. What's fascinating about all those fit birds in Kelly's team is that they're all girls Matthew once took on a date, but he never met up with any of them again. And by the looks of their warm-up, it seemed they had somewhat of a point to prove. I wonder if they're all still single. Before the game, Kelly talked us through the basic rules. They have to chuck the ball about a bit, try not to get intercepted, and get it to the person sat on the stool, just like they did there. But clearly that wasn't fair, as we weren't ready, and due to her competitive spirit, I bet there were some rules she didn't tell us about so that her team had the advantage. So when you concede a point, your team gets to have a go. But look at that! Surely that was a foul from Beth. Where's the referee? Is there even a bloody referee? And then they go and blooming score? Well, why wasn't that disallowed? I mean, I think Matthew has continued to text Beth since their date, but I don't see why he should bother now if she's going to do stuff like that. And look at her, just wander past him there as if nothing ever happened. What a bitch. With Matthew still in agony on the floor, we got to have another go. But would you look at this coming up here. Look, what another atrocious foul, this time by Sasha. I mean, what is wrong with these tarts? I mean, surely Matthew didn't act like that much of an idiot on these dates, did he? He told me that Sasha's card got declined at the bar on their date and he didn't go and help her out. But is that really enough of a reason for her to lash out at him like that? Now then, viewers, if you want to see a bit of fine stool ball action, look at this. Great ball, great volley, great catch! Wow! Now, Kelly kept harping on about the fact that a volley is worth 3 points, so apparently that brought us back level to 3-3. That finalist on the ball there is Julie. She was giving me the eye all day. I reckon I'm well in there. But she throws like a girl though and chucked it straight to Matthew. But look at Kelly. She goes and tricks him by giving him a kiss and he gets distracted and they go up the other end and score. I mean, surely this isn't fair. Clearly this is some kind of obstruction. It's an outrage. We didn't stand a chance, and apparently that turned out to be the end of the game and that meant that they won. I don't really understand, but that's stool ball for you. Oh, completely forgot to say, you know that girl who was a catcher? She was a girl who Matthew managed to get the name of on their date. I mean, can you believe that?
That was an exciting match, wasn't it?
Oh, it certainly was. Didn't the commentator say something about Matthew forgetting the names of one of his dates? Surely we should have heard about that before now.
Yeah, but perhaps it wasn't a very good story.
Sounds like it could be.
Yeah, but even if it was, we don't have enough time for it anyway.
We can make it number 17.
But that wouldn't make any sense. Or would it?
I've never done one of these before. Don't really know what I'm doing.
You'll be fine. just remember my voice won't be heard in the final thing, so if you can put my question in your answer, that'd be great.
Okay.
This is quite embarrassing.
So, tell me about your date with Matthew.
We went for a drink.
Where was that? And remember, if you can put my question in your answer and speak in full sentences.
Oh, right, yeah. Covent Garden.
It seems hard to believe, but I genuinely did forget her name.
So, did you like Matthew then?
Not really.
Oh, maybe if you can put that in a full sentence and tell me why you didn't like him?
Oh, okay, sorry. I keep forgetting, don't I? He was really boring.
Even now, I'm struggling to recall anything about her.
I just need you to say something like, I didn't really like Matthew because I thought he was a bit boring.
Oh, okay. I didn't really like Matthew because I thought he was a bit boring. Okay. I didn't really like Matthew because I thought he was a bit boring.
Sorry, we'll have to do that again. There was a little bit of background noise. So if you could repeat exactly what you just said.
Okay. What was the line?
She ended the dates because she told me she had a lot of work to do. I don't know if that was the truth, but at least it was a better excuse and I've got a lot of washing up to do.
They won't wash themselves, you know.
So, did you ever meet Matthew again?
No.
Remember you need to... Oh, forget it.
Oh, so who do I invoice for my fee? Is it you?
Well, I can see now why she was left off the list.
Oh no, don't be like that. Not everyone can be full of beans and animated on camera. That's the risk you run with running a list show, is that some sequences will be slightly less eventful than others.
Yeah, but it's like a Beyonce album. I mean, the singles are wicked, but the album tracks, they're just filler.
Let's carry on with the chart and see who comes in at number 6. Oh, number 6!
What do you like?
You all right there?
I'm fine.
Emma was the first girl I met up with through internet dating. We went to a pub, it was good. We had a second date, that was even better. We tried to arrange a third, didn't happen. End of story.
The sequence is over. What? Well, why aren't the gloss over ones just left off the list altogether? No, this is ridiculous. I can't do anything right now because Ebbs isn't here and you're... Just fill the gap. You're going to have to do it.
What about a musical number? We haven't got one of those yet.
Don't be silly. Who can get to do that at short notice?
I'll do it.
Runners just makes me sick. Attention seeking.
We thought the story about Emma was okay, but our presenter argued there must be more to say. For their first date, they went for a drink, and when Matthew saw her, he was tickled pink.
What is this piece of crap? Is it Russian?
She was a tall, leggy blonde with eyes of piercing blue. The banter was flowing through drinks 1 and 2. He went to the bar to get another round, thinking, who is this girl that I have found?
Couldn't you have given me something better to play than a triangle?
The good talk continued into the second date. A walk around Hyde Park, things were going great. He took her on a pedalo and that made her smile. He was making the effort to go the extra mile.
Can we swap? I think yours is louder than mine.
Nah, just give me yours.
Oh.
But then Matthew had a nasty surprise. Because the third date didn't materialize, he sent her a message saying, when shall we meet again? But nothing would prepare him for what would happen then.
1, 2, 3, 4. Spatula, 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 spatula.
His phone went bleep to signify text received, but it was sure to leave him feeling rather peeved. It was Emma saying, this is hard to arrange, but then she ended the message with something rather strange.
The song is shit. Do I have to keep going?
Matthew hoped when he read it that it was all in jest, but that was the last he heard of her. She'd written all the best, so that's become a joke for people in the know. Matthew got dumped via a text, so mind how you go.
Playing the bass is a lot like internet dating. To the uninitiated, it looks easy, but it takes years to master.
So what did I miss then?
Oh, it was disgusting. There was this musical number sung by this bloke who just could not sing. No offence. Thanks for the tea.
Well, they must have been running short of ideas on that one then.
Oh, I'm sure the next one will be great. Oh! Oh!
Ooh.
Oh, I might have to go down to Southampton to see that.
In this list, there have been girls who I've liked and perhaps girls that I haven't liked so much. But if I had to pick one who I fancied the most, it would be Caroline. She was a very pretty girl from Suffolk. She had a lovely smile that lit up her face. Her eyes twinkled like crystal. Her accent, was soft and warm, as calming as a lullaby. Her skin was delicate and smooth, like a peach. Oh, she was just so lovely that anyone who ever met her would just want to colour up like a teddy bear. As we parted after a date that was short and sweet, just like her, her perfect lips graced me briefly on both cheeks. And for one moment, it was like the world stood still. Then, as we went our separate ways, she promised, we must meet up again. I owe you 2 drinks, don't forget. And I didn't forget. And I'm still waiting. And after a while, I never saw her again. Meeting Caroline taught me not to get too attached to someone after just one date. You never really can tell if you're ever going to see someone again. And if you built them up so much, then it can be really disappointing when you're brought crashing back down to earth when you realise that they're just not interested. But you can't be too bitter now, can you? I mean, it's got to be a two-way thing, hasn't it? Like, you know, knives are great and forks are great, but if you're having steak, then you're pretty screwed if you haven't got them both.
Not long to go now, viewers, and although there was a sad end to that last tale, it just goes to show that internet dating has its ups as well as its downs, which is why Nicola is on the trampoline.
See what we did there?
I've always been opposed to the idea of internet dating. I don't understand sitting at home emailing when you could be out socialising.
I liked Emily a lot. I was thankful, despite her scepticism towards online matchmaking, that one of her friends convinced her to give it a try.
I only ever went on one date, and that was with Matthew, but it didn't really change my point of view.
She was a really upbeat, easygoing girl from Australia. I thought there was a real chance of us hitting it off.
The date was actually pretty good, but at times it did feel like a tutorial on the etiquette of internet dating.
There was some awkwardness surrounding the fact that I've been on a lot of dates, and the conversation went down some cul-de-sacs, which it probably wasn't meant to.
We chatted about the kinds of things people put on their profiles and how virtually everyone writes about travelling.
We all like a good travel story, right?
The story he told her wasn't that great, was it? Just like he was staying in a hostel in Sarajevo and he crashed a party in a dorm with a group of Australians. I mean, just because she's Australian doesn't mean she's going to be interested in that. Especially not when his reaction was, "You're shitting me," when he found out that one of them was called Kylie.
The mildly racist stereotyping I could deal with. It was banter after all, but he did piss me right off at one point of the night because he practically confessed he'd taken other girls to the same place he'd taken me. It didn't exactly make me feel special.
The principle of occasional locational variational is very important to internet daters and brings with it the fundamental rule that you must always take your partners to different venues. Failure to comply with the OLV may instigate descent into the gaping abyss that is familiar, underwhelming, repeat talk, or FIRT, where the all too recognisable date surroundings may vigorously stimulate your subadrenal cortex, causing an unending torrent of shit you've said before.
The end of the date was weird too because we talked about how long you should leave it before you get back in touch and what he described as texting tactics.
Textics are essential for internet daters to take into consideration, a fact that I expound upon at some length, fascinatingly enough, in my recently published and highly successful book on the matter entitled A Male-Female Guide to Courtship via Electro-Intercaustic Communication. And that you'll find is available at all good bookstores at the moment.
He didn't text me until the standard 3 days later.
It's really tricky to know what to do after a date. I mean, you may want to get in touch with the girl and let her know that you want to see her again, but at the same time, you don't want to come across as too keen in fear that you might scare them off a bit.
He said he'd had fun and he'd like to meet again. I'd probably agree to a second date, as I think it would go better next time, but he needs to be more proactive in arranging something. I don't think he even knows what he's after, but he certainly hasn't given the impression that it's me.
She was a pretty girl, wasn't she, Ebbs?
Yeah, you know, I think Australian women are the most attractive women in the world. You know, like Kylie and, as you've just seen, Emily and Kylie.
Us British girls are pretty hot as well, though, aren't we, Ebbs?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes. Something wrong, Nick?
I suppose you like Canadian girls like Pamela Anderson more than us Brits as well, don't you?
Well, I haven't really given it much thought.
Just, we've got a Canadian girl coming up next, so I suppose you can see for yourself.
I'm on my way to meet Matthew to go rollerblading. We went ice skating around Christmas and this was his way of replicating the date. I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be nice to see him. Although I haven't done it before, so I'm a little worried I won't be any good. I'm sure he'll talk me through it. He was really helpful on the ice. This is like what happened after our date. He didn't stick around long enough to find out if there could have been anything romantic. It kind of disappointed me he didn't keep in touch. I think he just got so caught up in other dates he didn't realize there was a nice friendship to be had if he'd wanted it.
I wonder where he got to.
We'd better get our skates on too and move straight on to the next story.
Oh, that's terrible, Ebbs.
And I'm delighted to say that Matthew's number 2 joins us here in the studio.
Number 2, because this is another word for poo.
Welcome, Hannah. Thank you very much for coming.
That's all right. We're very excited to hear about your date with Matthew, but first of all, let's have a little look at a clip.
looks like it was quite a date.
Yeah, it was quite eventful.
So tell us, where did the Mexicans come from?
Mexico.
No. I mean, how did they come to be with you?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, after we'd had a few drinks, this Mexican guy who looks a bit like a pirate, he comes up and he says, do you mind if me and my friends join you?
Oh, what did you do?
Well, I looked at Matthew and I said, what do you think? I think it could be funny. Do you think it could be funny? And he thought it could be funny. So they came and joined us. There was the Mexican guy, and then there was his friend who was called Toto, and this Irish girl called Julie, and I'm pretty sure she was together with Toto.
How did you know that?
Well, because as soon as they came to our table, they started snogging the faces off each other.
How awkward.
It was really embarrassing. I didn't know where to look, but me and Matthew just carried on talking to the other Mexican guy and tried to ignore the other two.
Then what happened?
What happened next? Oh, well, pirate guy, he goes to the bar and he comes back with a round of stout for everyone. He says, I'm in an Irish pub and I want to drink an Irish drink.
Oh no, how awful. I don't like stout. Do you, Nick?
No, not at all, Ebbs. I take a rather stout stance at my distaste for it.
So, well, anyway, we carried on drinking with the Mexicans for a while, and we had a really nice afternoon. But eventually, they had to leave.
So what happened next?
Well, we were already pretty tipsy by this point, but we did go on somewhere else, and we carried on drinking way into the evening.
Oh, so any gossip you want to give us?
Well, we did have a little kiss towards the end of the night, but we were both really drunk at that point, and I don't think either of us knew what was going on. But I had a really good date. It was a fun time.
So, Hannah, after your first kiss, do you think there were any subsequent fireworks between you and Matthew?
Well...
Oh, I'm sorry, Hannah. I'm going to have to interrupt you there. I'm just getting word that Matthew's greatest date might be happening now.
Oh.
Yes, the details are a little unclear, but we've just heard that Matthew has met a girl in Hampstead, and we can just hand over to Ebbs, who I believe is there now. Ebbs, can you hear me?
Yes, Nicola, you join me here in West Hampstead. As anticipation mounts, we gather that Matthew has met his date Danielle at the tube station, and they're making their way from the tube station to here, to Matthew's flat, which you can see behind me. The best part is he has no idea that we're here.
Oh, how exciting, Ebbs, but I don't think Matthew's going to take too kindly to you turning up on his date unannounced.
Don't worry, Nicola, we have a plan.
Ooh.
Yes, our runner is waiting down the road, armed with a hidden camera, so that he can get close to them without Matthew suspecting a thing. Look, they're on their way. Hide, hide, hide. Run, 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 where we go, where we go, where we go, where we go.
Ebbs, can you tell me what's happened with the link up? Because I can't hear you and the camera is rolling and I have to keep smiling and it's starting to hurt my face.
Oh, sorry, Nicola. Yes, they have just entered Matthew's flat, and we can only speculate what they're doing in there.
Ooh, this could be the one, couldn't it, Ebbs?
Yes, this could indeed be the one, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens next. So for now, I'll hand back to you in the studio, and I'll let you know if there are any developments.
Thank you very much, Ebbs. Now, Hannah, back to you. You were telling us about your date with Matthew.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, so our audience will be dying to know what happened next. Did you meet up again?
Yeah, several times.
Oh, was there any romance?
We went to the cinema and to the theatre. We went to the fun fair. I mean, he even took me out for a meal.
Oh, did he pay for the meal?
Yeah, he did.
He must have really liked you.
I really liked him too.
But you never got together?
No. I think he's addicted to internet dating. He seems to be on this quest to find this dream woman online, and he just won't settle for anything that falls short of that.
But would you have gone out with him as a proper couple if he'd asked you to?
Yeah. I mean, it would have been worth a shot, wouldn't it?
Oh, what a shame.
Well, I guess it wasn't meant to be. I think that's the problem with internet dating. It's so hard to know where you stand with the other person. I mean, unless you really put yourself out there and take the initiative to tell them how you feel, then you risk missing out on something that could have been worth hanging on to.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Hannah.
It's okay. I mean, I don't have any hard feelings. I really hope it's working out for Matthew. I mean, who knows? Maybe it might work out with this girl that he's with now.
Who knows? And let's find out. Ebbs, are you still there? How's the date getting on?
So yes, Nick, it seems as if Matthew and Danielle are just about to leave his flat. And here they come. I'm going to try and get a quick word with them. So guys, how's it going? How's it going? Don't just film her, go after her.
Be careful, Ebbs, because this could be Matthew's greatest date and we don't want to spoil it for him. Ebbs?
Chasing me. Put your little camera away and we'll have some fun. Come on!
Nicola, can you hear me?
Yes, Ebbs, I'm still here. What's happening there?
I think I've lost him. I can't find Matthew anywhere.
Ah, that's a shame. I had high hopes for that one.
Oh, so after all that, I guess you may never know what Matthew's greatest date was after all.
Isn't that a bit of an anticlimax?
Well, we got to the end of the countdown.
It's a bit of a weak ending, though.
But that's the whole point of a list show. You get to number 1 and then you're done. What more is there left to say?
Oh, I don't know. You got anything more you have to say?
Not really.
So, that's it then?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, hang on. I think we might have found them. Come over here, come over here, come over here. What the hell are you doing here?
Oh.
Ebbs, I don't get it. What's happening? Where's Matthew?
Hey.
Hey.
Look, I just wanted to say that...
Don't. You had me at number 2.
No.
Hey, what's happening? What's happening now? Hello there, everyone. You remember me? Yeah, are you just going to finish it there? Like, just end it like that, because it's a bit shit. Because nothing really happens, it just kind of... Oh, okay. I mean, we're in a nice bar. All you need is a guitar and a few dancers and a singing superstar. Just when you thought this bloody film was over, our director realized there isn't enough closure. There's too many questions without any answers.
So I'm gonna fill in the gaps with the help of all my dancers. We'll finish with a song. Everyone sing along. We'll finish with a song. It won't take long. Yeah, can someone move this sofa? It's in my music video. Abby bought a dishwasher, so has no lame excuses. Natalie got promoted from pastry goods to juices. Alana's still out searching for a suitable apprentice. Dawn thought Matthew wasn't really fully complimentous. We'll finish with a song. Everyone sing along. We'll finish with a song. It won't take long.
Are you going to join in with this or what?
Were those two Lindsays related? There is still confusion. My quiz show didn't get recommissioned, so I'm actually really quite pissed off and quite delusioned. Leanne dated Agent Bob because she loved the way he flirts. Spatula has so far sold just 16 of the t-shirts. We'll finish with a song. Everyone sing along. We'll finish with a song. It won't take long. Kelly ditches two-ball mates to go and invent another game. Helen is still pissed off with Matthew that he couldn't recall her name. Emma refused to be in the film. She thought it was demeaning. Caroline said she liked Matthew but didn't have deeper feelings. We'll finish with a song. Everyone sing along. We'll finish with a song. It won't take long. Emily is saving up for a flight back to Australia. Karen gave up dating. She got bored of all the failure. Danielle had a steamy fling with the production runner. Ebbs left Nick to work with me, cause I'm more of a stunner. Finish with a song. Everyone sing along. We'll finish with a song. It won't take long. What about Hannah and Matthew? What's their current status? He took his profile off the website, Serial Online Datas. They've decided to start afresh, so everything is equal. Who knows, if it goes well, there may even be a sequel. Finish with a song. Everyone sing along. We'll finish. No, don't actually sing along, it's just me. Won't take long. As we hit the final verse, it is the last chance for everyone involved in the film to join us for a little dance. And the director's asked his friends to come along and party, to get as many as we could to take part in our finale. We'll finish with a song. Everyone sing along. We'll finish with a song. It won't take long. We'll finish with a song. Everyone sing along. We'll finish with a song. It won't take long.
Well, this is a bit awkward.